Hello! I don't know about you, but every time when I say watch collection or a collector, I'm curious to see what they have there in the box. So I was thinking to share with you my watch collection and everything that I purchased for the channel in 2020. So I will start with two oldies. This is a LoRa Quartz titanium chronograph, which it happens to be my first watch that I bought 16 years ago with my own money. Not expensive, but it was the best good looking option for the amount back then, and I enjoyed it around 10 years before I got into G-Shocks. After 2 or 3 G-Shocks, I bought the Gshock Rangeman, very popular in the military 5 or 6 years ago, and this watch got me actually into watch collecting. A great durable stealth and affordable shock that will remain in my collection, being close to me in vacations, when I was doing customer travel, or when I was restoring my first car. And from here I think is the best to start with my secret collection, wristwatches that I appreciate but I never had the chance to show them on the channel. I'm in love with field watches. I think they are cool watches with less emphasis on the case finishing but comfortable and under the radar. And the first one to present you is the CWC G10 with a tritium dial, a cute small but not so durable watch. I dropped it on a wooden floor and the plastic crystal cracked, but I think it looks cool as it is, and as I see, they are going up on value. If you are not familiar with CWC, they had contracts with the British Army providing field and diving watches from the 60s until the 90s. The next watch is a micro brand, the Cooper Pathfinder, a great affordable quartz watch, which is an inspired field watch from the British military watches. What I like about these, they have beautiful blue-grey blasted cases with decent lume and looks, so if interested you can find the brand at cooperwatches.co.uk. The next on the list is the CWC T20, a beautiful classic watch created by Hamilton in the 60s for pilots named VW10. The design was taken over by CWC later on, the watch being made even today, having a mechanical movement or a quartz, as this model, this one being the affordable version. A beautiful finished case with a Hesalite crystal and lume indexes. One thing that I love about this watch is the broad arrow that symbolizes the property of the British Army. One of my favorite models is the Hamilton Mechanical Field Watch, a beautiful watch with a sapphire crystal, drill lugs, extremely thin, mechanical with good lume, extremely comfortable, durable, and it comes in various versions. What else can you want from a watch? And if I had to sell everything, the Field Mechanical will be my pick as the one watch collection. The next one is a transitional watch from field watches to diver watches, again a micro brand, the Cooper Submaster, a quartz diver with a unidirectional bezel and a depth rating of 300 meters, having a beautiful finish case the same as the Pathfinder on a blasted blue-grey finish with great details and lume. This watch is a homage of the iconic Monin case, I think made popular by Hoyer in the 70s, but better inspired from the CWC Royal Navy models. Moving from the field area and before reaching the divers area, there are 2 chronographs on the list. Already the iconic and affordable Bulova Lunar Pilot, the all-polished version, a beautiful good-looking chronograph reissued after the mysterious prototype that went on the moon. And I think this is a great option for those who are looking for a well-made chronograph that looks like a speedy, and they have moderate wrists because this model has 45mm in diameter. Another beautiful chronograph that I enjoyed a lot is the Hamilton IntraMatic Chronograph, a dressy bicompax panda with heritage, a 40mm case that sits very well on a wider range of wrists, and for bigger cuffs can sit as a dressy piece as well. The review of this watch and the full story of the Caliber 11 can be found on the channel, obviously. Yeah, thanks voice. Guys, we are looking now at the divers collection and then we will look at a couple of GMTs. One of the best options out there on the affordable diver side is definitely the Citizen Eco Drive ProMaster. A thin and comfortable diver that has 200-meter water resistance, an excellent long-lasting blue lume, a beautiful dial, an orange minute hand, and a 60-click rotating bezel that feels a bit hungry. I need to put it on sunlight. The next one is the Steinhart Ovm, the 42mm version that pays homage to the Rolex Sub. A great watch that stays well on the wrist, has good lume and offers a lot of value for the price paid. Unlike the Ovm 39, this one has a pronounced outer bezel that sends it to the Sub era, the 39mm version having a less pronounced outer bezel that does not offer the Rolex Tudor air back from the days. The Certina Ds PH200M is one of my favorites. I guess you noticed. I put a lot of love in these Certina videos. A great watch that stands out in my collection that is not necessarily muted. I have a lot of colorful pieces there. This watch being very comfortable and well made. A great playful summer watch. And yes, the review can be found on the channel. The next piece is the Doxa Sub 200, the Shark Hunter, a beautiful underrated brand and model. This is actually the first Doxa diver ever made, with a case made in the same factory as the Speedmaster and the Seamaster 300, a great reissue that keeps a lot of elements from the original piece and shows us how great the watches were made back then. Surprise, here's a Meiko that awaits for quite some time for a review. Again, a good piece and a solid alternative to the outdated Seiko SKX. Offering sapphire, a decent movement with hand wind and hacking, stays very well on the wrist and has good lume. Everything for around $200 if I'm not mistaken. I paid less for mine. Another solid contender to the title of the best bang for buck is a micro brand, the Dapix Hebros, a Romanian brand that offers good finishes and materials for $190. There's an NH35 with a ceramic lumed bezel, sapphire on top and a cool dial that was supposed to be a GMT. Anyway, you will see it on an epic battle this week against a worthy opponent. Then there is my Glycine Combat Sub with the reference GL249 with drill lugs. That sits today on a cognac strap from 7 Friends and Watches. Again, an amazing option for the price paid. A great brand with history and a lot of patents registered across history. This model sits well on smaller wrists because of the curved case, features a sapphire, a reliable movement and a great lume, definitely a complete package, and the model is reviewed on the channel as well. The next diver, again one of my favorites, the Certina Ds Super Ph 500M, amazing watch with great history, being a contributor on the Tektite project. I am wearing this model on a replica of a Tropic strap that complements and makes the watch to look a bit more vintage. Again, there is a good review that explains why this watch has unique features that other divers don't. My love at second sight. This is how I would name my relation with the Seiko Marine Master. A beautiful watch. This is the SBDX001, the first reissue after the one from the 60s. I love this watch because it's on the high end of watches produced by Seiko with the technology and the knowledge of the years 90s or 2000. Very different than what we see today from the brand. The next Seiko is a beauty launched last year, the Alpinist Spb 199J1, the first limited European edition, because later on they've made another limited edition that they decided to make it in the end not limited. Enough to be annoying for the customers who paid premium for the limited versions. Sometimes I think Seiko are very selfish, thinking only on how to make better profit, rather than respect the customers. Anyway, back on topic, great looking watch, I enjoy it, and as well, there is a full review on this model. The next one is my favorite again, the Seamaster 300 Automatic with the reference to 531. I am a big Bond fan. I always wanted one and I was a bit in a rush to grab one because they increased in price very fast. But now, since there is enough time to die, because the movie was postponed once again, the price for now will remain stable. And yes, I will review it soon. I just need to find a Walter PPK for this one. Another beauty in my collection that I am excited to review soon is the Doxa Sub 300 Aquamarine. Again, a beautiful reissued model that shows us how great the 70s divers were made. I love everything about this watch, especially the summer aqua color. And yes, I know that the orange version is actually the most iconic, but sometimes you get the better offer than the better color. And oh yeah, there is a monster in my collection, a 4th generation Seiko Monster without the Cyclops. Someone was creative before me. But still, I think this is a good looking watch that does not receive too much love from my side, and it should. Love the lume though, this model having a bright blue lume. Soon I will start to look for parts. I was thinking to mod this model. The Decompression Timer is again a spark of color in my collection. I love this colorful watch that transforms into a timer underwater. There's a full review on this one and it should be a keeper in my collection, knowing that I suffered enough after I sold my Ocean Star Tribute. This one sharing the same case with the Tribute. A beauty, but not for everyone, I assume. Seiko again. I have a lot of Seikos for a person that is not particularly in love with the brand, but I think if you are into watches, you should have the chance to experience a Sarb, an SKX, a Monster or a Turtle. So the Sarb 035 is my only dressy piece from the collection, even though it needs a bit of detailing here and there. So well built watch for the money paid. This time a vintage piece. Surprise! I have the Certina Ds2 from the 60s, a mechanical cushion case that looks very well for its age. What I wanted to tell you is that I've seen a lot of DS2s across time and the majority of them were looking in good shape. And guys, this says a lot about the brand and the quality of these watches, so props to Certina once again. And then this is the Rolex Explorer 2 that I purchased recently. A good watch, and I finally started to get used to it. Good quality, pricey due to the overhyped brand name. Still an underrated model in the Rolex family. I know that there is a classic dispute between the Rolex Pulse collectors and the Explorer guys, where the Submariner Daytona GMT owners do not recognize the Explorer as necessarily a model worthy of the brand. Well, that is funny. And another recent addition, I always wanted a Glycine Airman. I was looking for a classic 60s model or a reissue, but I ended up buying this Glycine Airman 18, a 39mm purist watch with a GMT complication. I like it because it's really small, has a 200 to war resistance, and I consider it a Gshock of Airman, being very pumped due to the oversized crowns and the lugs appearance, but in the same time comfortable and thin. So guys, this is everything that I collected in 2020 plus the Explorer. And for 2021, obviously I'll purchase new pieces and try to filter the actual collection just for the sake of having relevant content for you. Which leads to the following question: what brands or models do you want to see reviewed on the channel in 2021? Please let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel for future creative updates. And until next time, stay safe.